Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be covering my settings here for Season 3 of Black Ops 6. I do want to say you may want to take a lot of these settings with like a grain of salt. A lot of this is going to be preference based, but when it comes to my controller settings, I get asked a lot of questions regarding them, which is kind of the reason I like to make one of these videos every single season. So as you just heard, I am on controller. I've been using a controller my entire life, so I don't plan on switching anytime soon. But that being said, I'm going to jump quickly here through all of these settings. So 1.6 for both vertical and horizontal is where I tend to be very comfortable. That's considered to be like a medium kind of sensitivity. It's not fast, it's not slow, it's just right in the middle. So if you're someone who is kind of sketchy with their sensitivity, I recommend starting at 1.6 here and moving up or down depending on how comfortable you feel with it. The biggest thing with sensitivity is how comfortable you are with it. If you're uncomfortable with your sensitivity, whether it's too slow or too fast, it's gonna really affect your accuracy. So really play around with that, whether that's in the firing range or in custom games shooting against bots. For the other settings here, you can see I have all of them turned off. That's where you find controller vibration and stuff. And now we're in dead zones. This is the first time I've really ever had like real controller issues as far as stick drift goes, but you can test this. So I've really had to experiment around with this. So I'm going to set both of these to 0. You can see I have them both at 8, which means I do have a little bit of problems in the earlier sensitivities, such as sprinting and getting drift, I believe, to the left. So you can test it here and you can see that both my left and my right stick are having issues. You can see they're -5%, -6%, -1. It's nothing crazy, but I will sprint by myself and my controller will drift without touching the controller. So I've figured out my issue here. You can see that there is movement. You do not want any movement there. So I had them both set at 8. I believe that was the sweet spot I found for both of them. And when we test them now, you can see they're all at 0%. So if you're having stick drift issues, this is exactly what you need to do in order to fix them. So there's a couple of settings here you guys need to take a look at. And the first one is target aim assist. If you're on controller, this needs to be on. Without it, you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage. And then when you go over to aiming advanced settings, you can see here there's ADS sensitivity, transitioning timings, and aim response curve type. So you're going to want this on gradual, meaning you're going to transition gradually from target to target. There is an option for instant. Not a real fan of that because you can, shoot at somebody and you go to shift onto somebody else. Your aim assist isn't going to be as sticky. And the dynamic is that S curve type, meaning it's going to be easier to hit your targets while going back and forth. If your target's running by you horizontally, it's going to be easier to track them. And then for the custom sensitivity, presume, I just have this off. I haven't changed anything here. So now we're over in the movement category. Overall, I didn't change all too much other than a few settings. But first one here is your sprint assist. This is technically just tactical sprint assist. So, or auto tac sprint from previous Call of Duty. So you want tactical sprint assist set to 0, and that will automatically trigger auto tac sprint. That was a setting they changed. Don't know why they changed it, but that is the exact setting to give you auto tactical sprint. Along with that, you see I have sprint assist turned on for both backwards and sideways. Make sure your mantle assist is off. I had a ton of problems with this one, and very early game, I was basically just jumping over things without trying to. I'd go for a jump shot or I'd jump around a corner and immediately mantle and put myself in bad situations. So make sure you guys have that turned off. So we're going over to combat now. Again, not much I really touched here, to be 100% honest with you. The only thing I believe I did touch was the scoreboard maps and stats behavior. It was on some weird setting. I don't even know what it was on. It was on hold. I just have that on toggle. So up next, I just wanted to quickly show you audio settings. There's really nothing that honestly you need to cover here. It's all going to be down to personal preference. At the end of the day, I just want to show it because somebody might have a question about it. The only thing I recommend you really turn off when it comes to your audio is going to be things like music, the like in-game music, because if you're playing a round of S&D and somebody rounds a corner at the end of a round, it's a 1v1 and the music starts playing, you're probably going to miss some audio cues there. So that's really the only thing I changed in the audio front. So when it comes to graphics, obviously a lot of people are on different consoles, different PC builds, but for what it's worth, I'm going to show you guys my settings. I'll scroll through everything. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can just go down in the comment section and let me know. For you console people, there are plenty of console settings that I can still show you. But for my PC people, if you guys are just trying to copy down my stuff, you guys can see here exactly what I am running. But for the console people, you guys can pay attention. I'll show you exactly what needs to be changed. And here's your first one. You guys do have a option for upscaling or sharpening, and you're going to have the fidelity cast. I use this on PC, so you guys know it's good. You guys want to up your sharpening, the sliders right here depends on how sharp you want your game to look. I personally have mine on 70, but at the end of the day, it is going to be your preference on that, but make sure you guys do turn it on at the very least. So I'm going to quickly scroll through the rest of my personal settings here. I don't believe there's anything else on the console side, but as you guys can see, I kind of just run low settings simply because I like to have a higher frames per second versus, you know, really high quality. So I don't think it really is a massive deal at the end of the day. Whatever your preference is, higher graphics or higher frames, those were just my personals. So now we're over in the view tab here, and we have quite a few console settings, obviously along with PC. So you're going to want field of view. Personally, I have my field of view at 110. Most of the professional players sit around 100 to 110. It varies between player to player, but in multiplayer in particular, 120 FOV, you don't necessarily need that. That's definitely a very good Warzone option because the map is far larger, but none of the multiplayer maps really are big enough for you to actually need 120 FOV. It makes your targets feel farther away. It also makes your recoil a bit harder to control at 120 FOV. So 110 is the perfect kind of medium in my opinion, but obviously, again, a preference. Definitely chuck on 110 and go from there. Now we're at ADS field view. Make sure that is unaffected, and scrolling down, make sure you guys turn your motion blur off. Along with that, you guys want to make sure you guys have your camera movement at least 50%. It's going to really reduce a lot of the bobbing that's on your screen when you're running, sliding, jumping. It's going to reduce the bob. So over in interface, there's only one thing I really want to show you, but I am going to scroll through this. You guys can get a look at exactly what I'm running. I used to change some of like the color customization and the gameplay HUD, not hub. But overall, it didn't really play too much of a factor. And honestly, it just found like it was too many settings to go through, but there is something in color customization you guys do need to turn on. So if you guys want to change the colors, obviously you go into the readability tab and go down to color customization, and you can change all the colors there. But more importantly is going to be down here at the bottom with the color filter settings. You're going to want to turn on filter 2 with the target set at both, and both of them at 100. It's going to make your game far more contrasted, far more saturated, and far more vibrant overall. If your game is looking rather gray, it's because you don't have this particular setting activated. So make sure you guys do turn this on. It's very, very important. And like I said, I don't touch any of the gameplay HUD, so there's nothing really to look at, but this is where you find all that if you want to change any of that around. Personally, I don't change any of it anymore. Like I said, I experimented with it, but nah, it was just too much at the end of the day. So there you guys have it. There's all of my settings here in Black Ops 6. If you guys have any questions regarding them specifically, go down in the comment section and let me know. I will absolutely answer those questions. We're going to jump into a gameplay. I know a lot of you already know my settings and you're more interested in that gameplay. We're going to be playing over on Dealership with the Jackal, just messing around with my boy Epic, trying to go on a little streak, trying to have a little fun. So if you guys are more interested in that, it's coming right now. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Let's get into this. I'm just going to run around with my Jackal and we're going to get a W, and that's going to be that Epic. Nothing more, nothing less. No raging, happy thoughts. That dude has a launcher. Oh my god. This isn't so bad. They're trying, but we're kind of just piss slamming. You're not very talkative, Mr. Epic.
Yeah, because my nose hurts.
Your nose hurts?
Yeah, from wiping it on the tissues.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you have a cold. Shall we?
There's so many people now.
Yeah, I'm trying to nade it. Didn't work. There we go. I'm not going that way. That sounds like a bad idea.
Shotgun it.
I'm not even chatty either.
Huh?
I'm not talking much. I'm just kind of teed up. I think I got him. Yeah, I got him. Nice. Oh my god. We both just took the same route. That was actually impressive. The same flank route. Good news is this, as long as we win, this should be a W for us, and we should be able to get off for the day. I just got fried. Oh my god. Guy just smoked me. Soji Dream Guy actually shoots, hits the jump shots and stuff, but he doesn't, I don't know, he doesn't go to the hill, I guess.
A jackal user.
I'm not scared of a jackal user. I am the jackal user. I just got C4'd. I think that might be like one of my first C4 deaths ever.
You need a fresh towel.
You need a fresh towel? Nice. Tell him I said yes. Yes, I do need a fresh towel. Even though I'm really not even trying that hard. I'm just casually playing at this point.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
That's an insane spawn. That sucks. The dream is killing me, or the OG dream, so I don't know what he's whining about. Oh, they left the game. Talk shit, leave. Classic. Brother, I almost twerked on you. I am on a death streak, my god.
I'll be back.
They all left the game, Epic. We bullied them too hard. Oh my god. Oh my god. Can you stop C4ing me? What? Well, I think I do need a new towel. GG's. W's.